Hi, I'm Adriana Baranek, MC of Media Group, and here with me is Madam Baranek,
Hi.
CTO. So today's topic is earthquakes and on-prem, and this video has been inspired with the real-life events that we have experienced starting from the March 2020, basically, when here in Zagreb, where we now reside, where we still reside, there has been an earthquake. It was 5.4 earthquake, I think, something like that. So it did cause serious damage in the city, and it has been a known event for everybody that resides in Zagreb. And on the 29th of December last year, there was an earthquake in Petrinja. This is a city some 50 kilometers from Zagreb. This was above 6 Richter. So this earthquake has been felt from Belgrade to Ljubljana. And here in Zagreb, it was quite a big event for us as well. So we have decided to make this video because earthquake and on-prem are definitely not a good mix. And when there was a catastrophe at Fukushima years back, it was a huge fuel for the Google Office productivity tools to become a standard in Japan, because if you use public cloud, basically you can never get into a situation where you lose all that you have. But if you have on-prem, then it is a serious possibility, and it is very hard for any company to maintain foolproof infrastructure that can survive like 6 or above Richter earthquake, or even if we're talking about 7 or 8, it might be quite impossible. So can you tell us more, Mladen, about this topic?
So public cloud is very often used to minimize risks and to provide management during natural disasters. So there were a number of events where companies who had on-prem applications suffered total loss of data and were not able to get their services up and running. For example, in New York, when Twins collapsed, there were companies who had backup in the second tower, and obviously they were not able to establish services. As Adriana said, Fukushima was one disaster where companies who used public cloud services were able to continue right after disaster using those services, and their data was preserved, while companies and administration that had on-prem local installations suffered major data loss. So from disaster management perspective, Google, for example, had a number of activities where they helped with disaster management after earthquakes and floodings. So obviously, if you are using public cloud services for geolocation, for mapping, for communication with today's mobile networks, it is possible to establish connectivity right after disaster in first few hours, and then start coordination and start all services that are needed by citizens that they can communicate. So in many disasters, it was shown that internet was more reliable
Yeah.
than phone service or even a mobile voice. So yeah, many countries have a special program that is using one or two or even three major public cloud providers just for
Mm-hmm.
disaster recovery. So
Mm-hmm.
that's quite common
Yeah.
use case.
And if you are currently on premise, we are we do not definitely want to give advice what to do with your on-premise equipment, because managing earthquakes and making sure that earthquakes do not touch your on-prem is very complex and sometimes even futile. But if what you can definitely do if you have on-prem and you are considering how to mitigate your risk, one thing that you can definitely do is have a backup and disaster recovery in the cloud. And the second thing that you can do is stop maintaining your mail server and just start using one of the office productivity suites, either from Google or from Microsoft. Can you tell us more about this, how this can be phased and
Yeah, so unlike on-prem or hosting environments where you have a few instances on one or two locations,
mm-hmm,
with public cloud, there are many data centers that are distributed all over Europe and on other continents as well. And each data center has regions, in a sense that one data center is composed of three or more zones where
mm-hmm,
you have a separate power supply, separate buildings,
mm-hmm,
and in some cases they are even on separate tectonic plates, comprising just one data center. But the idea is that public cloud services can be distributed, and for some, like for collaboration, for email, they are not based on resources available in one location. So they are available on at least two or three different data
mm-hmm,
centers, and they are replicated. So in case of a major earthquake or a major disaster, you would be able to continue using your services
mm-hmm,
even if one or two
mm-hmm.
uh, huge data centers are out of service.
Yeah, and
So,
what service would be the recommended service to start with?
so of course, if you just do forklift upgrade of on-prem solution to one region, that is the worst case scenario. That's basically not using public cloud as
Mm-hmm,
it is supposed to be uh, used. So, if you start using collaboration suites
mm-hmm,
like Office 365 or Google Workspace, you will get a lot of functionality, you will get resilience, and
mm-hmm,
it will provide your people with collaboration tools without a big effort to
mm-hmm.
establish underlying infrastructure. Regarding applications, of course, it is possible to build distributed applications using cloud native technologies. And yes, some of applications have proven to be difficult to rewrite, but even for such applications, as Adriana said, it is possible to use backup and
Yeah,
disaster recovery
that's a
so
quick
that
fix.
you are, yes, it's kind of a quick fix that you can project your
Yeah,
application to another data center or even two data centers so that you are able to reestablish
yeah,
services fairly quickly after disaster.
mm-hmm, yeah. Well, thank you, Mladen, for your insights. So, if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We have office hours every Friday. You can sign up for those. Those are our free time that we spend talking to our prospective customers and giving them some short advice that is never the right advice in the public cloud, because things are always more complex than you might think. But we would like to speak with you and to see how we can help. Also, we are looking forward to having our first marketplace application in a month or two, and we will be updating you on that very soon. So we are recording this video while still there are earthquakes here in Zagreb and in Croatia, and we hope that until this video is published that
There will be
the
no major earthquake.
yeah, yeah. So if you like this video, please like us and subscribe. Go to usewise.com and sign up. And thank you for watching. Thank you, Mladen, for your time. We'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.